Hey everybody, Coach Kevin here. I've got Coach Charlie and I've got Chris Frazier here. We're going to go over some of the logistical things for workout 3, which is 1854. So 1854 is a 15-minute AMRAP and your score is as many rounds and reps as possible. The biggest part of this workout, which is going to be for you and your partner to decide, is there is no minimum work requirement. You don't have to do a single rep of anything if you don't want to. So if your partner wants to do all of the jump rope for the entire workout, they can. If one partner wants to do all of the handstand walking, they can. There is no minimum work requirement. So you can split the workout up however you guys would like. That's the first thing. The second thing is when you guys get to your station, there will be a mat. Right now we have a bumper plate, so I'm going to have Chris start on the mat. That will be where you guys switch when and if you decide to switch. Okay, so one person will always be standing on the designated mat. So whenever they want to switch, the working athlete will have to come to the mat. There will be one mat on the floor, or I'm sorry, on the turf, and that is where your reps will be completed. So all of your guys' equipment will be on the turf, and then when you are ready to do whatever movement you're on, for instance, the barbell, you'll have to roll the barbell to the mat, and then when you're done, you'll bring it off. When you're ready for the sandbag, you'll bring the sandbag to the mat, etc. So 1854 looks like this. 3, 2, 1, go. You start out with 120 double unders for the RX division, 120 single unders. So Coach Charlie would, and you can start, he's going to grab his regular jump rope right here. Both athletes will start on the starting mat. So I'm going to have Coach Charlie stand right here with Chris. You can have your jump rope. Just hold on to it. Okay, so everybody will start on their starting mat. And at the count of 3, 2, 1, go, one athlete will stay, one athlete will start jump roping. So 3, 2, 1, go. Charlie makes his way to the jump rope, and he will do 120. Okay, so he's doing a single unders if you are in the intermediate division, double unders if you're in the RX division. What will happen is if they decide to switch, so let's just say they decide to switch, Charlie will leave his jump rope at the mat. Chris will stay. Once they're there, then they switch out, and then you're going to do 120. After 120 are complete, you'll bring your jump rope off the mat, and you will bring the barbell out on the floor. We will have barbells preloaded for you guys, so you're going to roll it on the mat, and you guys are going to do 20 overhead squats, okay? So pretty cut and dry. You're going to take that barbell up overhead. You can power snatch, you can squat snatch. 2 things that we're looking for. One is hip crease is clearly below the knee, okay? So if that hip crease is not below the knee, that judge will give you a no rep for depth. And the other big thing that we're going to want to make sure that we see is that at the top of that squat, we bring those hips all the way forward. Okay, so do a rep where you don't stand all the way up at the top because you're just trying to go fast, right? If we see these right here, just because we're trying to go fast, judge will say, hey, no reps, stand all the way up for that rep to count. Again, there's no minimum work requirement, but we're looking for full depth on that squat, and we're looking for the hips to come all the way through so there's a straight line from shoulder down to the feet. Once 20 reps are complete, they'll set the barbell down. Let's say they decide to switch, okay? He'll go to the mat. The next movement will be 20 sandbag cleans to the shoulder. So you guys will bring the sandbag out to the mat. We'll have all the sandbags ready for you. In order for a good rep to count, you're going to come up underneath. You're going to take it to a shoulder. Once you have it to a shoulder, non-working arm will go off to the side. That will count as 1 rep. You can drop. You can do touch and goes. It doesn't really matter. You are not required to switch shoulder. So if you want to go on the right side or left side the whole time, you're more than welcome to. But you guys must show control. How we'll get a no rep here is, let's say he gets it to the shoulder, but maybe he's like really on the side right here. So turn to the camera real fast for me. If he's like here and he brings that arm off for a split second, judge will say stand all the way up, right? Get that done, or get that weight on that shoulder, and then they'll say good rep, and you can drop, right? So that's really one of the only ways you guys can get no reps on the sandbag cleans is by leaving it kind of off that shoulder. We'll stand all the way up. We'll show that control. Now, next up, this is where if you are in the intermediate division, both athletes will come on the field. So we'll get the sandbag out of the way. What will happen is we're going to be on the first base side, and we're going to use the foul line as your starting line. There will be a cone designator for your lane. If you are handstand walking, let's say you're in the RX division, one athlete will be resting, and they'll be hanging out. If you're handstand walking, you're going to walk hands behind the line, all the way down the cone. Now, you do not have to get all the way to the cone for the distance to count. Every step will count, and we'll explain that here in a second when we talk about the intermediate division. But if you take 3 steps and drop, those 3 steps count. You don't have to get a certain distance and then go back to the starting line. So RX division, you guys will handstand walk. If Chris walks and he gets to here and he's stuck and he wants to switch, he will have to run all the way back to his partner. He will tag, and then the partner will come back. What will happen is the judge will put their foot where their last hand hit, and that's where you will pick up from every time, okay? So let's say they decide to switch, so they go ahead and switch out. Step back for me a little bit here, okay? So for you guys to see, I want you to handstand walk like 3 or 4 steps and then come down. So let's say Coach Charlie's walking, he's walking, judge is right here, he comes down. The judge will put their hand or their foot right here, and his hand has to hit behind the foot. So once he's ready to kick back up, he'll probably take a step back. His hands have to hit behind my foot. He can kick back up. If he drops again, we're right back here. Your distance is done when both hands cross your cone. Okay, now we're not going to have a line out there, but the judges will use their discretion. Once both hands are clearly behind the cone, that will count. For the intermediate division, you guys will be doing a wheelbarrow walk. Here's what we're looking for. This is where both athletes will come out. Coach Charlie will put his hands behind the foul line. Okay, we don't have a foul line here, but just pretend we have a foul line. He'll give his partner one foot. He'll give his partner the other foot. Here's what the partner needs to do. He needs to keep his hands and Charlie's ankles at his hips the whole time. So we cannot raise them. So like just move around, bring them forward, right? Like we can't be here. We have to see hands and ankles at the hip. We are not requiring the hips to be anywhere for the wheelbarrow walker. They can be wherever they want. From here, Charlie's going to walk. He's going to step. If he drops, same rules apply. So like drop, I would put my hand or my foot right here, and that's where they would just pick back up at. You're not required to switch, but if you guys do decide to switch, you would just start behind this designated area. Once you get both hands, the wheelbarrow walker's hands, the person whose hands are on the ground, past the line, it is good. The holder, that's not when the walk is done. The walk is done when the person on the ground crosses the line. Once you are done, both athletes will run back to the starting line. One athlete will go back to the starting mat, and we're going to start the back end of this. It will be 60 drag rope double unders for the RX division, 60 drag rope single unders. Each lane will have 3 sets of jump ropes. We have blue for large, we have orange for medium, and white for small. So each lane will have 3 that you guys can use. So let's say Charlie comes out here, he does his 60 double unders or single unders, depending on what division you're in. Same rules are going to apply. Whenever you want to switch, you guys can switch, but the athlete must go. After he's done with his jump rope, he'll take his jump rope off to the side, and then he will grab the barbell. Next movement will be the hang power snatch. So the first thing that he must do is establish his hang. Once he's in his hang, he's going to go from his hang position to overhead, okay? And then he's going to stand tall, okay? You guys can hang from wherever you'd like. So you can do like a high hip pocket hang. You can go mid-thigh, top of the knee. You can even go below the knee if you really want to, but the bar cannot touch the ground. The bumper plates cannot touch the ground during your snatch. Ways to get no rep here is if he does a power snatch, catches, and then doesn't stand all the way up, right? So maybe he catches like this and doesn't extend those hips all the way at the top of that rep. Or if he, kind of doesn't bring his head all the way through, maybe brings that bar too far forward. So let's just make sure that you guys take that barbell clearly behind, in line with that shoulder and a full extension at the top, okay? You'll do 20 hang snatches. And in theory, you can squat snatch if you want. I think it's just written as hang snatch. So if you want to squat, great. I wouldn't, but do you. Once 20 reps are complete, you guys will switch out, or you guys will move the bar out of the way. You can switch partners if you would like. The next movement will be sandbag squats. So we'll bring the sandbag out. Here's some things we're looking for the sandbag. Number 1, it must be in a bear hug position. Okay, so we're not going to put it on our shoulders. We must be in a bear hug. From here, it's just like any other squat. We need to see hip crease below the knee, And then you guys are going to stand all the way up and extend those hips at the top. What we'll see a lot of is they'll squat until their forearms hit their legs, and they'll think that they're at depth, and we're not. Okay, so let's make sure that you guys are getting those hips all the way down, even if your elbows or the sandbag is making contact with those thighs. So ways we can get no rep here will obviously be depth, or we're not standing all the way up, or maybe we're too hunched over at the top. We need to see that straight line of action just like any other squat. Okay, you guys can hold it down low, you can hold it up high, but it must be in a bear hug position. Once you hit your 20th squat, you'll get that out of the way, and then you're back to your 30-foot handstand walk or your 30-feet wheelbarrow walk if you guys are in that intermediate division. So really the only things that change from RX to intermediate will be single unders or double unders and wheelbarrow walk outside of loading of your guys' weights, okay? This is for rounds and reps. So as soon as you guys, as soon as that clock hits, you will get a score of rounds and reps. Lastly, your walk is worth 1 rep. So if there's only 3 seconds left and you're at the handstand, it might not even be worth trying unless you can get 30 feet in 3 seconds. If you guys are here, right, like right there, and we say time, unfortunately that will not count. So it's all or nothing for your handstand walk. So that is 1854, 15-minute AMRAP. Thank you, fellas. Great job. We will see you guys soon. Athletes and judges, if you guys have any questions, let us know. We'll take care of you. Thanks.